Good morning. Aloha. Aloha kakahiaka. We're going to say pule before we open our meeting this morning. I'll call on Trustee Akina.
Aloha kakahiaka, everyone. E pule kako. Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful place, its beautiful people, and all of the love that is here, the aloha on Moloka'i. We ask that you will give us wisdom today as we meet and talk. Help us to hear the mana'o of all the people. Help us as trustees to carry out our duties and to be good servants. Thank you so much for the beneficiaries and friends who have gathered today. We commit ourselves to you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
Mahalo. I would like to call today's meeting to order. Let the record reflect that today is Thursday, May 16th, and it is 9:36 a.m. I'm going to call on the board secretary to call the roll.
Ew.
Ew.
Aloha mai kako.
Ew.
Ew. Ew. Present.
Here. Mahalo. Aloha kakahiaka, everyone, and welcome to our Moloka'i Island Board of Trustees meeting. We are so happy to be here with all of you, and we mahalo you for coming out and spending the morning with us. Before we start our meeting, I would like to ask each trustee to introduce themselves and their staff at this time, starting with Trustee Ahuna.
Aloha mai kako, Dan Ahuna, representing the islands of Kauai and Niihau. With me today is my aide, trustee aide, Anuhea Diamond.
Trustee Akaka.
Mahalo, Chair. Aloha Moloka'i Ohana. I'm Kalea Kaka, serving as OHA Oahu trustee. Also honored to serve as chair of OHA's Committee on Beneficiary Advocacy and Empowerment. I want to say mahalo nui to our board chair, Hulu Lindsay, her team, and to our Moloka'i Lanai trustee, Luana Alapa, and her team, as well as our Moloka'i staff, and our kapohana, Stacy Ferreira, and all our OHA crew that make all this possible for us to be present. Joining me today is my kokua, Nathan Takeuchi.
Mahalo. Trustee Akina.
Aloha kakahiaka again. It's so good to see many of you back here this morning. Last night was a wonderful time of hearing your concerns, and we want to do that again. I'm Keli'i Akina, trustee at large. I have with me my assistant, Joyce Yang, and so glad to be here. Special thanks to Luana Alapa for hosting us on the island, and all of you who actually are our hosts. Aloha.
Trustee Alapa.
Aloha kakahiaka. I'm Trustee Alapa, representing Moloka'i, and of course, Lanai. I'd like to extend a big, humongous mahalo to my team, Pohai Ryan and Whereas summer source, you guys did an outstanding job, and I've seen the hard work you've put in the past 3 months. Thank you so much, as well as our Moloka'i office and everyone else on board to help make this our community meeting and our Board of Trustees meeting a success. Mahalo.
Trustee Galutaria.
Aloha mai kako, aloha, good morning. I'm trustee Brickwood Galutaria and at-large trustee. I'd like to introduce my staff, Kyla He, who's being the OHA Uber for me here at on Moloka'i. Thank you very much for attending the past several days. We leave with much more than we arrived, and now we can make informed decisions that affect our beneficiaries. Mahalo, aloha.
Trustee Souza.
Aloha and good morning. I'm Keone Souza, trustee at large. Thank you guys for all who attended last night's meeting. Look forward to talking stories this morning as well. I'd like to introduce my aide, Kau'i Robello. Mahalo.
Trustee Trask is absent, but we have with us her staff, Kau'i. Trustee Waihe'e.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Aloha mai kako. I am trustee John Wahe'i the fourth, and with me today is my aide, Karina Kino.
Mahalo. I'm trustee Hulu Lindsay, and I'm the Maui trustee, serving as the board's chairperson. I'd like to mahalo you folks again for coming. And I wanted to, having heard all of the testimonies last night, I wanted you to know that we heard you last year. And for a whole year, we've been advocating for the concerns that you folks had, especially the adult care home. We talked to so many people. That is not our kuleana. OHA does not build anything, and we don't develop lands. That's not our kuleana. Our kuleana is to provide services for our people. And part of our service is to reflect your voices, the things that you folks care about. When we go back to Honolulu, we talk to the right people. But you know, things don't happen overnight. They get procrastinating, but it's not without us trying for you folks. So we're not sitting over here listening and forgetting what you folks said when we go back. We know what you folks are saying, and we see it. So we've been arguing in meetings in Honolulu on your behalf. So please know that we're not just here spinning our wheels. We're here to listen. We're here to help however we can. So we also have joining us this morning our CEO, Kapohana Stacy Ferreira, who will introduce herself and her administrative staff supporting us this morning.
Mahalo Chair, mahalo Trustees, aloha kakahiaka. Mahalo for the warm ho'okipa that we've experienced since our time arriving yesterday and the day before. It's a privilege to be here, and I mahalo for the time that you're giving us this morning. Joining us today on the administrative side is Director of OEV Wellbeing and Aina Momona Ku'ike Kamakea Ohelo. We have our interim Information Technology Manager, Kevin Cha. And our beneficiary services agents, Ilima Kela and Gayla Halianak Lloyd. By the judge. Mahalo.
Next on our agenda is item 3, status of OHA activities. Lehua, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this item? I'm going to turn the time over to Kapohana Stacy Ferreira
Mahalo.
to give us a community report on the Moloka'i Island.
Mahalo, Chair. When you arrived today, they should have given you at the door the community report. It's about 40 pages, so I won't have enough time to go over every detail, but there's a lot of really helpful information, especially for us at OHA, because it gives us an overview of who you are as a community. What's especially of interest to us are what are the challenges? And we heard some of that last night, and I'm sure we'll hear from you again today. But also, what are the strengths of the community? A lot of times we spend maybe too much time talking about the deficits and not enough time talking about the strengths and the assets, and Moloka'i is filled with them. And last night was a great testament to that, as we saw folks from healthcare and from the business sector, and those who are really trying to malama aina here and perpetuate aina momona. It was very evident that it's well and alive here, but certainly could use some kokua from OHA to amplify and elevate that and secure it for our keiki and future generations. So just a few things to share. In terms of funding, this past year, we funded the Ho'olehua Homesteaders Association Scholarship Luau, and I heard it was a big success. So congratulations to all the organizers and the recipients of the scholarships. We also have 16 active grantees that get provided services here on Moloka'i for a total of $618,000 that were dispersed to those grantees. We have 27 active Native Hawaiian revolving loan funds and consumer microloan program loans for Moloka'i residents, over $500,000 in funds that are dispersed through those loans. In terms of policy support and action, I just want to kako'o what Chair said. There's a lot of advocacy going on. We just ended the legislative session, and there were many, many bills that are not just important to Moloka'i, but to Kanaka Oiwi in general. And so we're always advocating and making sure that our voices are being heard and that it's not being lost in the thousands of bills that go in front of the legislature every session. Of particular interest, I think, to this Moloka'i Ohana is the future of Kalaupapa. OHA did support SB 2289. Essentially, what it did was it called for greater accountability and transparency from DOH on its reporting of Kalaupapa. The bill added an additional reporting requirement on the permanent transfer, and it named Ka'ohana o Kalaupapa as one of the community groups that they must report on their engagement to the legislature. And we know that we had representatives last night from Ka'ohana o Kalaupapa who were very grateful for OHA's continuous advocacy and ensuring that they're top of mind when Kalaupapa is discussed at the legislature. Currently, that bill is waiting the governor's signature. And then we also were big champions of the need for medical transport here. So, you know, as Chair shared, we understand that there is a healthcare crisis here on Moloka'i, both on, you know, workforce development capacity, but also long-term care as well as transport. We know that there are issues with mokulele and being able to get reliable transportation to and from this island. And so we want to, again, make sure that medical transport is on top of mind for legislators. We did submit testimony in support of this budget item in HB 1800. It did not get included in the final budget, unfortunately. However, we will not relent. We're going to continue to support the need for medical transport. We look forward to working with Rep. Poi Poi, who authored and was a legislative champion on this bill. And during the interim, we will be supporting efforts to fund alternative transportation methods. Mahalo nui for your time.
Mahalo, Pohana. Next on the agenda is an update on the Moloka'i Island Burial Council with Keo Mailani Lehua. Do we have anyone signed up to speak on this item? Keo Mailani?
Hi, aloha aina kako. My name is Keomailani Hanapi Hirata. I come from the island of Moloka'i. I come from the Ahupua of Aha'ino. Mahalo you folks for being here today. So I had one whole presentation kind of put together to share with you folks about the updates of what's happening on Moloka'i, especially with our iwi kupuna, our cultural and historical sites, the burial sites, the challenges that we have with SHPD. But I decided not to do that. And the reason why is because I read your folks' Moloka'i Island report yesterday. And I actually got a text message and somebody said, you should read that island report. I said, wow, is it as bad as the article that Kawaiola put out this month, which had some unfactual information in that article? I aloha everybody for attempting to do what they needed to do and write the article. My mother said, as long as the conversation started. Yeah, so I would like to share about, everybody knows Moloka'i Island Burial Council. It's not that we have a hard time getting our community to come out and participate, to apply for this burial councils. Our island really does. The problem stems from the laws that are in place and the policies and procedures that come down from those laws. There is a whole lack of enforcement, especially on Moloka'i. SHPD never comes to our Aina. They never come here. Right now, Moloka'i has 22 open cases, 22 open cases. And that is just in the past 3 years. We have open cases of intentional desecration due to development. We have open cases of inadvertent discoveries because of sea level rise, climate change. Did you folks all stay at Hotel Moloka'i? Okay. Did you guys all see the orange barricade by the ocean side? September of last year, a keiki Evie was found there at Hotel Moloka'i. September of last year, SHPD still has not come here. Care enforcement on Moloka'i does not show up to do an accurate report. So we all stand there with the Moloka'i Police Department and trying to figure out, because we are following the guidelines and the policies and procedures in place. They never come. I appreciate the efforts of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs from Kai Markel, Uncle Kai, and Kamakana Ferreira. However, I believe OHA can do more. In January of 2022, I sent an email to our Moloka'i Island representative and I asked if she could help our descendants with SHPD's descendancy claim application paperwork, which pretty much only entails making copies of their application, making copies of their supporting documents like birth certificates and stuff. And then I asked in the email if they would be willing to help to package all of these 12 descendancy claim applications along with 3 registrations for burial sites and mail them to SHPD. You know what I got one response and said? We cannot do that. That's an administrative thing, and we have to go in front, talk to the administrator, and then the trustees have to agree if we're going to expense monies that way. To me, that's not pono. It's a simple thing of going to the office and make copies. We all go there to utilize it. We are beneficiaries. The office staff, Gayla, she goes above and beyond to help our people on Moloka'i. Since I've been on the burial council, I invite our Moloka'i representative and trustee to come to all our meetings. She never shows up. Not only that, she just never comes, doesn't send a representative. You represent Moloka'i, every island, every people. We carry our own mana and we carry our own kuleana. We entrust these people to be in office to help us. And when they don't show up when our people need it, it's heava. That kaumaha and eha, we have to carry. Now, the Island Burial Council does fall under the Hawaii state government's boards and commissions. And we are consultants to the State Historic Preservation. We know that SHPD is severely understaffed. Did you know that for Moloka'i, we are part of Maui Nui, which you all know, 4 major of our Hawaiian islands, yeah? We get 1 lead archaeologist that services all 4 islands. Up until 2 months ago, he lived on the US continent on the East Coast. Let me tell you, to get that man to come here to Moloka'i, never happens, okay? He has come 1 time since 2001. Now, we have 1 burial, up until December of last year, we had only 1 burial site specialist for all 4 islands of Maui Nui. Imagine trying to get him to Moloka'i also. The other assigned archaeologists, so you get lead archaeologists, then you have ones that are assigned to specific islands. The one that is assigned to Moloka'i and Lanai, he lives on Mokuo Ke'awe. Imagine trying to get anybody from archaeology or history and culture branch to get to Moloka'i, or even sending care out to get to Moloka'i, to come to the sites, to see what is happening, the desecration that is happening. That never ever happens. When I reached out to OHA, I've been reaching out to them, and it is very extremely frustrating because I said, how can you help us? How can you help our people? I don't like sue the state. That's not the point. How can the Office of Hawaiian Affairs assist us on the island of Moloka'i? Not just us, these are problems systematic problems throughout all of our Pai'aina and all the islands. Every island, like I said, carries their own mana and kuleana, and I'm sure they echo the same thing that I say and the frustrations that we have. Moloka'i is very unique because we have no staff from SHPD on island. Of course, you guys know about Mokulele. Trying to fly in and out is ridiculous. So yes, we have 22 open cases. In your guys' island report, you highlighted 2 different reports in here, which I don't know who put it together, but they did a good job of Googling it, but they didn't do any fact checking of these concerns on top of here in this island report. And I am a little bit, that's, for us to have to keep carrying this OHA and having to come back and recorrect, sometimes it's better to have peace than have to be right. But in this case, I had to come forward and say something about what was written. On page 9, you guys talk about number 1, suing. You know, I wanted to go sue. Actually, I reached out to attorneys throughout Hawaii and beyond on the US continent. And I asked them, what can we do? Everybody said, yes, sue SHPD. That's how you're gonna get on one chance, you know, make changes. That doesn't work. That's not what we're talking about. So that's not what I was asking for anyway. Another thing in here that was mentioned was the whole report about the destructive analysis of human bone fish hooks for Moloka'i. Okay, Marshall Weisler is an archaeologist and everybody knows who he is. And he's like, he has been able to ho'omali some of our people on our aina and on this island, and people aloha him totally, but he's a scientist at the end of the day. This man intentionally took fish hooks, which anybody who knows that fish hooks, more likely than not, are human. They're made of iwi. It's a spiritual thing. He took them, not just from our island and took them off the island, he took them out of country to be tested. He took them out of country to be tested. Then when he found out 5 out of the 12 was human, he brings them back in a box to the island. Then he writes a scientific journal about all of these things that he did to our iwi kupuna. So when Kamakana from OHA shares with me the report, I'm going, where's our kupuna? I don't care about this. Give me back our iwi. What's going on? Where is it? I wasn't available to go pick them up. Pulama Lima, my oho, who is a punahele of ours. She comes from the next generation after me. But she came to Awamodak Kuleana on behalf of our island and our people. She was not representing herself as the Bishop Museum's curator or an anthropologist in any way, but it's written in here and that should not be in the report because she was not representing Bishop Museum in any which way or form. She was representing her kupuna of Moloka'i. This man, Marshall Weisler, wanted to apologize and he couldn't understand why I was upset with him or anybody else was upset. And then he thought he could tell me, oh, I consulted with Uncle Walter Reedy and Uncle Mac Poi Poi, and they told me it's okay. I told him, don't you ever do that. Don't you ever divide our island's people. Foreigners have been doing that for way too long. Uncle Walter Reedy get his own kuleana as an Aloha Aina warrior. His kuleana is not to Malama Iwi Kupuna. Uncle Mac Poi Poi, his kuleana is Lavaia. So I know for a fact, you did not tell them, Marshall Weisler did not tell them that he was going to destroy our Iwi Kupuna, our tutus. He did not do that. And I do not believe for a second that they told him it was okay to take the artifacts from our Aina. I do not believe that. But your folks' person wrote that in the report. I am very baffled because that was nowhere. The only thing Marshall Weisler said was, I consulted with them. You guys put in this report that He consulted with, Weisler had explained that he had previously consulted with Walter Riddy and Matt Poi Poi and that they had no problems with the proposed testing methodology. This is the first time hearing that. I knew he said he consulted with them, but he did not say that they gave him permission. And they don't have the right to give that permission either. And for some reason, Marshall Weisler thought that I was going to be afraid to confront, or not confront, or go talk story with Uncle Walter and Uncle Matt. He was sadly mistaken. I'm not afraid to go talk to them because we all carry our own kuleana. And so I don't know why this is in this report. I don't need our people to be divided. I don't need our people to, or other people from across Hawaii to think badly about our two uncles. That's not pono. There's something else in here where it says SHPD requested that reburial not occur until the report is finished and SHPD has made their final decision or whatever. Guess what? We in Kanu our kupunas as soon as we got them back. There's no way we're going to sit and wait for an investigation. I've been waiting for 3 years for SHPD to get over here and do what they need to do. So there's a lot happening on our island. There's a lot happening on our island. And Moloka'i has been put really in the spotlight in different areas and different problems. Most recently, dealing with iwi kupuna, I've been bombarded by phone calls from the US continent, from the Native American Indian tribes, from New Zealand, from Australia, about the second thing that you guys wrote about in this report. Okay, so on page 10, which is the University of Hawaii West Oahu unmarked burials at Moloka'i Cemetery, the research project that the University of Hawaii is doing at the Kamalo Church and Our Lady of Seven Sorrows Church, both churches in Mana'e. This case is so complex, it is unbelievable. The gist of this is the Catholic Church reached out to the university and said, we need to find more areas and plots for our whoever their members to be buried. So the university anthropology department goes, oh, we got a great idea. Let's go look for unmarked burials. Who in their right unmarked burials? So you already know that you're going to intentionally go into a cemetery that has been there since before the actual cemetery was registered. And understanding the history of these places too, the great battles that happened in those islands, we know our kupuna is buried there. And we know that they're unmarked. So this is still an ongoing issue. I did reach out to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. We did have a Section 106 consultation because the federal government is expensing funds into this project. The way I found out about this project and I blew it up and I contacted OHA was because I'm an alumni of the University of Hawaii. They sent out a newsletter talking all about this and had pictures of the anthropology students like digging in the cemetery, removing like dirt, soil, everybody's sitting there in the cemetery doing these things. And their job was to find the unmarked burials. In that newsletter, it said they dug so far down that they could see the soil deposits start to change where you know that human remains have dissolved into the aina. Okay. As soon as we bring it to their attention, you know that the university took that newsletter down and claimed, the professors in charge claimed they didn't know what the laws were in Hawaii. This is the University of Hawaii West Oahu Anthropology Department said, their archaeologists said that they didn't know that they were supposed to go and register with the State Historic Preservation Office for this project. Okay, that was during the first phase. The second phase of their project, they want to use National Science Foundation monies, federal government monies. So you have to do a Section 106 consultation. We asked for it, we had one. I asked OHA to attend that meeting. Nobody attended. That meeting was facilitated by federal attorneys. A Section 106 process was, we all sat in one room together. How's that? I've never participated in a consultation like that. You have the Catholic Church, one powerful religion. You have the University of Hawaii came out full force for that. And then you had the federal attorneys. And then you had us, the simple Aina people. Imagine. So You know how much indigenous people around the world is watching this case and what's going to happen? Because whatever SHPD decides, because Alan Downer says they can continue with their work because his hands are tied as the administrator of SHPD. That's his ruling. This is our Iwi Kupuna. This is our history. This is our culture. This is what's happening. And I do not have I don't blame the Catholic Church. I blame the University of Hawaii. You an anthropologist, there's no way you can tell me that you don't know what the laws are in Hawaii when you want to do a scientific research study. So yes, there is a lot of things happening on our island and high profile cases. And it's going to come to one point where we're going to need the support of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, whether it's to help us in a legal battle or whether it's to help us sit at the table with SHPD and revamp their whole program. Something needs to give. I also wanted to share that I know that you guys had the burial working group that you folks had helped to put together. I think Malia Kuragawa and Halia Aloha Aya was facilitating that. The report was finally sent to the state. If you guys read that report, Moloka'i Burial Council did not agree or disagree. We didn't even sign off on the report. We were the only burial council that did not. We did participate. One of the members did participate in all the meetings. I sent factual evidence. But if you look on the front page, all the burial councils are listed. Moloka'i did not sign off on it. And we did not sign off on it because it is incomplete. We cannot stand here and grumble and grumble. We also need to come with real solutions to the table. This is my solution for OHA. Please help our people on this island. You know that we're not getting help. How's about you guys create one position and station that person here? Make it Kanaka Maoli Valeno, Moloka'i Valeno, and stay in the office here to assist our people, assist us. Most recently, because I've been making noise at the state capitol and different things, and I created enemies, but I'm not here to make friends. They removed me from the burial council with no paperwork, no nothing. If you look on the site right now, they removed actually all of us. We all applied for our second term. We were not reconfirmed. We all got our application. We all got our paper that said, or an email that said that, yeah, we received your folks' application. So now with 22 open cases and more coming down the pipeline, I just got one call on Monday. So more active and open cases with a DLNR report attached to it or a complaint attached to these reports.
Excuse me,
That
whoever's telephone is ringing, can you
The
please
best-
turn it off?
calamine for the
Thank
cell
you.
phone.
That was-
So anyway, I think that is one solution that could help our people. It could really help us. We would like to, we already malama on our own. We don't actually rely on SHPD, but we have to go through the process because when it involves large landowners and property owners, police reports, and legal things start to come about, we have to involve SHPD. Whether they help us or not is always something else. So anyway, I just wanted to share a little bit about that. And I think that no matter what happens, and no matter what you folks do and take back to whoever and you guys talk about this thing, just remember that we all carry our own kuleana, like I said, but it is super, super important that we never, ever compromise or we forget that our foundation and all of us here today is here because of our kupuna, of our ancestors that have come before us. And if we become complacent in their desecration and their disturbance, let's not allow that to happen anymore. But mahalo.
Mahalo. Mahalo Keo Mailani. And we appreciate your passion and all the work that you're doing. And don't think that we weren't listening. We'll take it back and have that discussion. Mahalo. Okay, we're moving into community concerns and celebrations. Lehua, do we have anyone signed up for community concerns? Okay, I'm going to call on Auntie Irene first.
Now I'll go bring the mic. I'm so sorry, I'm on a walker, but I came today. Oh, I'm sorry. And hearing Keel speak. And I just wanted to plead for our island that we need help. You know, and for me, as an ex-employee of OHA, we always stood at the top of the pyramid and we always collaborated. I'm gonna bring up a name. Her name was Trustee Machado, and I worked under her. I asked her, I said, Trustee, they're having problems with the veterans because there's drinking down there and our people do not want to go there, the veterans. She said, do what you gotta do. I trust you. I work up here. You're the eyes and ears for me in the community. So when I worked for OHA, I brought half-time the veterans to have privacy. And how it started, one day, this lady came into the OHA office crying. I said, what's the matter? She said, I just lost my husband. I went down there and they're drinking and making all big noises. Can OHA help me? And we brought them in. Whenever the representative came to the island, we serviced them. It wasn't easy for one person, let me tell you. When you have one person in the office, you gotta cover your back because you don't know who's coming in. Like I said last night, how many I kid. But you need people. I was the eyes and ears for Colette Machado. I went to every meeting, wrote a report for her and everything, so she knew what was going on. It's for the safety and welfare of us because you cannot lock the doors during working hours. So that's why I advocated for that last night. But also, do you guys see the building across? Do you know what that is? The building right there with all the boards on it. The veterans was given $4 million thanks to Senator Lindy Coit. And it's been like about 8 years now. It's been standing like that. The money was turned over to Department of Hawaiian Homelands, and they still got us on hold. Now, do you guys see an American pole there for the flag? When we went into the military, we went under one command. We carried the flag to war. Some guys never came back. That is like a slap in the face what Hawaiian Homes, they're not even collaborating with us. It's a one-sided thing. It's who you know and not what you know. We earned that as veterans. And I think that this should be brought up to OHA. No respect. If OHA is giving DHHL monies, go investigate, see that they're doing their job and stuff like that. But OHA did not give the money. It came from the state. But it's just that there's dissension, and what makes me upset and hurt, and pretty soon I'm not gonna be around, so we gotta say what we wanna say while we're still here. We will earn that. The civilians that are trying to take that away from us, we'll collaborate, but not with only one association. It has to be with the whole community. But, and a lot of veterans, you don't see them come out. I feel like I drank 10 beers. You know why? I was on the phone last night calling people to come to the meeting and they don't want to come. They said, hey, it's who you know. You rub my back, they go rub your back. I said, you know, this is a new day. So let's start new, working together. But, and that's why people don't want to come to the meeting, I'm sorry to say. Because even the DHHL meetings, nobody wants to come. Everybody lost hope. They gave up hope. I said, man, you guys are a bunch of panties. They take the women, yeah? Mamara said, oh, I better not tell. But anyway, that's why I'm here and Auntie's here. I'm the veteran, but I'm not talking on behalf of the veteran. I'm talking about myself, how I feel intimidated, serving the people, giving you guys freedom and yet nothing. And they do that to us. Unforgivable. And you know what? We're Kupunas and we know all the shenanigans went on. From creation of all those corruptors and stuff like that and how they operate. They turned brethren against brethren. We went to war together. We went in the military together. Why? For freedom. And they treat us this way. So what I'm saying is, there has to be something like in the old days. We cannot be, there gotta be something. And OHA right now, to me, in my heart, is the top. You are responsible for our people. Prince Kuhio said, Kupunas as first. Why? We've been there and we've done that. You know what I mean? And then you hand it down to the next generation. Next generation doesn't want to because what kind of example are we? We got to come together. And that's what the building is going to be all about. It's going to be a Kulano Iwi. It's going to be Department of Health and everybody can use that building. We're not hold cheesing or anything like that. But you know, Moloka'i, so when we go down Manai, we tell them, hey, you guys are all dead out here. You guys are focusing and fighting and stuff like that about this and that, not thinking that there's one road going in and coming out. You guys better go to the meetings and open up your darn mouth, you know, because I've been in the military and picking up dead bodies is not fun. And you know, when there's no disaster plan on the island, you know what happens? People panic and they start shooting and killing. And that's what you meant. We've been there and we've done that. And we have a testimony. People think that we talk from our okole, but no, it's from our heart. We have a heartbeat for our people. And this might be the last time we get to see you guys. So I hope that OHA can be, you know, the standing, be the foundation. Be the foundation for our people to come together.
Thank
Be
you,
an
Irene.
example,
Thank you.
okay?
Judy Caparita.
Everybody. No. Like I said last night, I go forward. I'm from the East End. I live now on the Hawaiian homes. I'm so appreciative for the Lord blesses us of Moloka'i. We're blessed. But sometimes we're not going all the way it's supposed to be. That's why in my heart, I know the teachings of the islands. East, west, north, south, all come together. There's two workers together. Always together. There's not one taking down reps. Everybody works together. Jesus, he loves us. He loves us. Let me tell you, Jesus is the boss. I must say that to you. Because why? You gotta get your act together. Come together. Not say on the top, do the walking, do the talking, and live in it. That's what it's all about. Live in it. So I must say, I go for my sister. Whatever she says, she knows it. They're born and raised over here. You know, you gotta be born and raised. So you know the difference before outside there and come into home here. That's what I need to share with you all. I love you.
We love you too, Auntie. Mahalo. Doreen Galam. Doreen. Is Doreen here? Okay.
It's on my back. I'm gonna say this again. The first time when you first was here the first time. By the way, my name is Doreen Ke'ohulo Galam, and I was born and raised here on Moloka'i, 3 houses across the street down, Shizuma, Ayao, and Enokas. But anyway, I am Doreen Ke'ohulo Galam from Moloka'i, born and raised here. I'm here only because I talked to you folks the first time. Thank you, Miss Lindsay, because I didn't know that whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. I am, and I'm gonna talk about a long-term care center. So you folks seen all that building there over there, all boarded up. Man, that building look ono. Look really ono for me, for our people, for the people that needs a care center. But then all I want to say is this, that the building looks beautiful. But anyway, my daughter is dead. 5 kids she had. I'm gonna repeat this again. This is the 3rd time I'm repeating to you folks. Yes, I want to be heard, but we all want to be heard. I'm not going to talk for any other island but for myself. And I'm not going to talk for anybody but for myself because of what happened to my daughter. 5 kids she never see graduated. That hurts. She could have been there if they said, Mom, I made it. She could have seen the diploma. She didn't. She couldn't because why? She was on Maui for 7 years in the care home center that is Halimakua. 7 years. Then she went to Honolulu. She died in Honolulu, but well taken care of. But then we need it here for Moloka'i. We need it here on Moloka'i because this is what it's all about. 5 kids, 2 set of twins, 2 girls, a boy and a girl twin. That really hurts. When they go, Grandma, what about my mom? She's not here. So I'm going to say this to you, Alapa. Don't mind me how I point my finger, but I pointed my finger straight at you. My condolence because you lost your son. It hurts. It does hurt. Because you know what? You're in Honolulu. You have all kind of facilities. I'm here in Moloka'i. There's nothing. There's nothing at all. But I can say this, and I'm going to say it again. Our hospital, we did have a long-term care center. Correct me if I'm wrong. But then yet, what, mismanagement or something? I'm just putting it out there. We had it. We had it. So it's not there anymore. If we had that here on Moloka'i, the kids could have, my grandchildren could have seen the mom. She could have been here and even maybe passed here on Moloka'i. But my daughter is born and raised on Maui. So I'm here again. This is the 3rd time I'm talking to you folks. I want to be heard. I want to be heard because you know what? I don't want any other family going through this. And then there's one more thing. We all talk about medical, which is true. Medical is really important. But what really gets me is this, the airlines. No airplanes. So you know what? You make your appointment and everything. Next thing you know, delay. What's up with that? Born and raised here, we had the airlines, we had Aloha, we had Mahalo. Hawaiian Airlines was here the longest. Then we have Mahalo. But it really hurts. It hurts each and every one of us. And I'm gonna repeat myself again. You folks came, you folks playing was delay, if anything, good for you folks, because you know what? It happened to all of us. It happened to all of us. So again, my name is Doreen Keohuluogalam. I'm born and raised here on Moloka'i, and I'm talking about a child support, care center. Miss Lindsay, I know you had said something, but then I can't, it hurts, it just hurts. I know you're gonna try and help or whatever, please help us, because where else can we go? To have, and you know what, the last time I came, the second time, I didn't know they had 3 or 4 family after me. They have their sons in Honolulu, the kids in Honolulu. They have to be in Honolulu to be with the kid because what? There's no care center here in Moloka'i. That hurts more than anything else. You know, when they came to me, I cried. I break down and I cried. I said, you know what? I don't want anything to happen to you folks. So that's what I'm saying right now. Don't let any other family go through what I did. Because you know what? You lose your one and only daughter and you have 3 sons. The 3 brothers, they still cry for their sister. That was my only daughter that I had. But to lose her this way. The reason why she passed is because she got hurt here on Moloka'i. She never needed to get hurt. But all I can say is this, I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for anybody, but it really hurts. But then when here comes like the health and whatnot, the doctors and whatnot, it's a big question mark, but I'm quite sure we do have something here on Moloka'i. So I just want to say thank you very much. And again, Miss Lindsay, I thank you so much. Mr. Akina, thank you. Brick, thank you. Only because I knew you folks. And Susan, thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
Mahalo.
Mahalo, Doreen. We definitely heard you folks all last year, and like I told you folks earlier, we've been talking to quite a few people on Oahu to try to see if there's anything that can be done for your needs here. So don't think you talking to deaf ears. We're hearing you folks, and we're letting your voices be heard to the people that can help. Mahalo. Keomailani, did you want to speak again or you, Pao? Okay, please take the microphone.
Aloha aina kako. My name is Kelwailani Hanapi Hirata. I come from an island that really alohas me and our people. I come from a long line of warriors. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about in your guys' report again. So on page 21, it talks about economic stability and you guys mentioned access deer. It is a concern on our island, but also understand that it is also a free food source on an island that statistically is economically deprived. Statistically, people say it's poverty stricken. I disagree with them because the Western or European definition of poverty is completely different to us who live an Aina-based lifestyle and live here within our Aina kupuna. So anyway, we need to come up with better management plans, and it's a kako effort. Everybody got to work together. There's a portion in here under the community position / related activities, the last sentence that states, DLNR built 13 miles of fencing in 2020 to 2021. And as of last year, there were 39 fence projects under construction using a mix of federal, state, and private funds. I am here to say, as on Keikioka Aina and Kupa Aina of East Moloka'i, where predominantly every single one of these fence lines are coming up. Our people, 98% of our people who come from East Moloka'i do not support the fence line project. We supported it when it first happened many years ago. We come forward now, we are not allowed to sit at the table in the East Moloka'i Watershed Partnership Program, of which you folks all support, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. When you build fence lines through an ahupua'a, you cut the lifeline off of our ahupua'a. Our people cannot practice subsistence gathering rights. Everybody wants to talk about Moloka'i restoration. There is no such thing as a Moloka'i restoration when you put one fence line through it. Our history and our culture tells us that Kamapua'a plays a purpose in our rainforests and our watersheds. How do we live in harmony? We, as human, we are our own worst enemies. We are the problem of why we are suffering through an unhealthy ecosystem on our island. So I wanted to just be clear that it doesn't say that you folks support it, but you do need to know that Mana'e and our people in East Moloka'i, we are rallying against the fence line from happening. We have been able to stop the aerial shooting that happened in Kamalo. And that was only with one of the, I think there's like 8 different large landowners who signed an MOU with the different government entities. And they're large landowners. We're talking about Puhoku Ranch, Kainalu Ranch. We're talking about Kapuale Ranch, Bishop Estate, State of Hawaii, Division of Forestry and Wildlife. Everybody's sitting at the table together. They forget about the people who live there. Only the people who live in these ahupua'as, where these aerial shootings are happening, understands how their ahupua'a lives and breathes. They have private meetings of which the community is not allowed to sit at because the community members and the native tenants or just tenants of those ahupua'as didn't sign an MOU. They only talk to the large landowners. And so there is one huge struggle in East Moloka'i. There was a prophecy that was foretold, and it's written in our history from Moloka'i. Our kupuna said there's gonna come a time where they're gonna come to take our resources from East Moloka'i to feed the rest of your island. We are living in that prophecy right now. There's one huge land grab and water banking happening in East Moloka'i. The fence lines only have money to build the fence lines. There's no money to maintain the fence lines. There is no money for mitigation plans for anything outside the conservation fence, which is the lowlands where all of us people live, where all of our fish ponds are at that feed our people. So where do you think all those animals are going? They're coming down towards us. And so it is a huge issue. And hopefully next year when you guys make one report, whoever does your folks' report really gets outside and walks amongst the people here. Talk to our island's people, find out what really is happening before writing one report. I just wanted to say that, so mahalo.
Thank you. Courtney DiMaggio.
Aloha, I mahalo for you guys to come today to OHA, for OHA, you guys to be here. Mahalo our kupuna and everybody else who's here present as part of our people from Moloka'i. So I'd like to provide an update about what happened since the last time I was here testifying about healthcare. So last year you heard a lot, and today you also continue to hear about our needs for kupuna care for those who need care because they cannot care for themselves, because we still don't have anything. So since last year, we have made some progress. Right now, I gotta make this disclaimer, I'm not on work time. I took off for work so I could testify, so just in case somebody watching. So I am a registered nurse here in the island. I was born and raised here. I work with my colleagues here, sitting here, that we're a great team because we're all from here. So we understand the needs of our people and our kupuna, and also those who are unable to take care of themselves. So since last year, we have, our big dream is for a long-term care facility. So what I can see OHA helping to do is find a solution or other ways to see how funding can be continuous for a long-term care facility. Because at the end of the day, it will be, we can build one building. That's fine and dandy. We can probably, we can get land, KSBEs, we need to give us land. We could probably get the money to build a facility, but we're not going to be able to sustain it. We won't be able to sustain a long-term care facility because a lot of the people who need the long-term care facility will have to depend on Medicaid, and the reimbursements from Medicaid is junk. So we need to find other solutions on how to provide continuous funding for a long-term care facility here. We need to start thinking outside the box. So I'm looking at maybe OHA, you guys have great ideas to see what kind of outside of the box thinking on how to fund this and make this long-term care facility sustainable. That is what we need help on. In the meantime, we have reached out and we talked to several different entities, which one of them was Luna Lilo, and you guys all know what's going on with Luna Lilo Trust. So we support whatever entity that will support our kupuna. We have reached out to Halemokua. So Halemokua is a long-term care skilled nursing facility on Maui. They are actually willing and going to support an adult day health here. Along with Kanukai Baptist Church. Kanukai Baptist Church actually is going to donate the building and so that we can have a building for adult day health. Now, the difference between adult day health and adult day care, which Napu'uwai has, is that adult day care, which we are so grateful that Napu'uwai continues to do this, is that kupuna can go there, but they need to be independent. They have to be able to feed themselves, go to the bathroom by themselves. They have to be independent. We need something beyond that. So the next step is adult day health. So that is where Halemokua comes in. So Halemokua is wanting to help us to provide that service. So that is right below long-term care facility. We still are going to work and think about outside of the box solutions to help fund this long-term care facility to make it sustainable. Like I said, we could get the land, we could get the money to build a building, but it's how to make this sustainable. Because at the end of the day, if we cannot sustain it, then it's like poho that we doing all this work. So maybe OHA, you guys have great ideas. I don't know, and it is true what Auntie Irene has said. It is who you know. I don't care how much anybody knows. It's who you know. So our priority now is to make sure you guys know who we are. My name is Courtney DiMaggio. This is Lulu Linker, and this is Chelsea Mepupuhi. And we would like everybody to know our name so that when we come and talk about it, that you guys go now remember, oh, because I seen Keone Souza at Melemanaka. And I was like, hey, what's going on with OHA long-term care? Like, he remembered. That's what I let you guys remember. Remember us, remember our kupuna here. So every time you see us, it's like, oh yeah, we gotta find solutions for them. Like, oh yeah, like they need long-term. Oh yeah, they need help with the EV kupuna. Like, so that is why we come out. I never ever in my whole life wanted to ever do this kind of stuff. But I remember somebody saying that it's not it's not what you know, it's who you know. So make yourself known to your politicians, make yourself known to everybody that you think going to help you. So we're here because I think you guys can help in finding solutions, not necessarily giving direct funding or building a building, but maybe you guys can help with finding outside solutions to help sustain this. Because right now, we're moving forward. We are moving forward. And I'm so grateful that it wasn't only us, it was the whole community that was involved. It was Moloka'i General Hospital, Moloka'i Community Health Center, Napu'uwai, Maui County Office on Aging, our Moloka'i Rural Health Community Association, all of these entities here that provide services for kupuna. It was a kako thing, and I think that's to come, even if like people outside of the island don't help us, we figure it out ourselves and we're going to try help ourselves because we're tired of waiting for people to throw us scraps. And like we're going for the big money now. Like forget the scraps. We like the big money. So I think that's why even if outside providers are not able to help us, we're going in at the end of the day, figure it out. So, but we hope that we can have other ideas come our way to help us figure out a sustainable way for a long-term care facility. I'd just like to update you about, we did have a healthcare crisis. Since last year, the Moloka'i Health Education Center through the University of Hawaii Maui College, they have been upping their classes for medical professionals. So they heard us. They heard us plead for the opportunity to grow our own because we And everybody in the medical field, especially in Molokai that served people, we felt the crisis when our two beloved COCA passed. And then there was an exodus of healthcare providers leaving. So the Molokai Health Education Center since then has completed a MA program. They're gonna continue that medical assistant program next spring. We had completed 2 CNA courses, or actually 3 CNA courses already. They're gonna continue that next spring. And they're gonna continue, and they're actually gonna bring a LPN hybrid cohort here in spring of 2025, which is much needed. So now we kind of need everything to hurry up now, because we're gonna have all these people that are actually trained to do the work, but where they gonna work? Now we have to find their places to work. So an adult day help would be an excellent place for them to start, or a long-term care facility. So I kind of want to throw the idea that if we have a long-term care facility, it won't only benefit the people that we will be caring for, it would benefit the people with jobs. It will be the opportunity to continue to grow our own here, so that we don't have to beg people from off island to come and serve our community. Because we don't want to beg people. If we have to beg, then that means you don't want to be here and you're not going to care. So that's why we are still trying to, we're not giving out with the dream of having a long-term care facility. And yeah, we're going to continue to work with the people here and work with each other so that we can come up with solutions. So mahalo for your time.
Mahalo. Carla D'Angelo.
Good morning. My concern was, I went into OHA's office just recently, and I figured I could do the registration thing there with the ID because I needed it for my schooling. But not only me, because of our elders who kept saying, Carla, we don't know how to go on the computer and do the registration. So I said, well, I can go to the board and ask them if they could bring the machine back to Molokai. I don't know why did it leave?
They're going to bring it back.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Carla. Leilani Wallace. Give her the microphone. Yeah, mahalo.
Morning and aloha to all of you.
Good morning.
Welcome. My question is grant. A couple years ago, we had grant from OHA on Molokai when my mom was alive, and she was qualified for the grant to help to fix her home. My dad passed on and she needed help. So now it came to my turn when I needed help, and I went down to OHA to ask if I could qualify for the grant. They did away with the grant. They turned it into a loan. And there's a lot of, it's for us kupunas on Molokai, a lot of us, especially on the homestead that I live on in Kapakia. There's a lot of widows who live there. Our husbands all left us, went home, and so we need help. So we cannot get help from OHA or the grant to help to make our home, us feel comfortable. So with the loan, I tried. And she's sorry, you're not qualified because your income, you have to have $2,000 to qualify for the loan. And I go, what? So I went back and we had a board meeting, and I had told them that we're not going to qualify unless your income, but we'll try. I did try. So all we asking is we can get the grant back to Molokai to help us kupunas to fix our house. And Hawaiian Homes is not doing a thing for us in Kapakia. We've been going to them for help, but no, you guys are considered as flood zone. So you folks are all gonna be relocated out of Kapakia. What day, what month, we don't know. And no infrastructure was done. And this was told to us in 2017. And this is 2024 now. I had put in for a relocation out of Kapakia Because what went happen to Maui, the fire, could happen to us on Molokai because of the water. Because we're considered as a flood zone. When the rain comes from the mountain, the water comes down and it ruins everybody's yard. And the water is called king tide. It's not high tide anymore. And the water come into the homes on the beach area, into their yard, and go into the stream and come across the street. And I'm in the middle row. So I was granted to be relocated. And then now I'm just waiting to go to Kalamu'ula because I requested for Kalamu'ula Mauka. But I'm not only thinking of myself, I'm thinking of the other kupunas that they can get help with grant to fix their house. Not only Kapakia, everybody from the east to the west. That's my request and question. And the number two is when you go to the office or her office to go renew your picture taking, I only no more the machine. What happened to the machine?
I just told Carla that the machine is coming back. Okay?
Okay. And then we need somebody in the office, in the OHA office with Kayla. Kayla does a beautiful job. She helps all of us here on Molokai and she gives us advice. So she really needs somebody in that office with her and somebody that lives here on Molokai. I'm sorry, Luana, because you are our representative for Molokai, but you in Honolulu. So you're not here to see what's going on and what is being said. So with your blessings, next round, we should get somebody that lives here on Molokai in that office with another worker. So that's my request to all of you. Thank you, mahalo, and you have a nice, safe trip back.
Mahalo, Leilani. Calling on Lionel Adachi.
Aloha. My name is Lino Adachi. I come from Moloka'i. I was born and raised here. Throughout my years, my family comes from Honolulu, from Kahuku and Laie. And I sort of kind of raised there also. My grandparents all come from there. During my years here on Moloka'i, I went to Moloka'i Elementary School. Then I went to Kualapu School when that school was built. I also went to high school here. In fact, this place where this buildings are built used to be our playground here a long time ago. My kindergarten class is still going on up there. So I do have ties here on Moloka'i. I moved away for a little while. I was working on Kaho'olawe for 6.5 years with the project there. And I was with the maintenance program there. So I have a lot of ties with Kaho'olawe also. After Kaho'olawe, I ended up in Iraq and I worked out there in Iraq for 6.5 more years. I worked with the military government in Operation Iraqi Freedom. So I was out there. I took the bombs like everybody else. I took all the shots, you know. You guys don't even understand what we had to really go through out there. I went through it and I was a civilian at that time. I couldn't fight back. So the reason why I'm saying all this is because during my whole life, I had to move off of this island in order to find jobs, in order to learn a little bit more in my schooling. I even went to high school in California for a few years just to graduate. But all my life, I've been traveling other places just to work. And I can't even stay here on Molokai. So there's no job opportunities for a lot of our kids here. So we need to find something for that, for the kids here, so they can stay home and at least have them learn some of the trades here. I know there's farming, but a lot of the kids not interested in farming. So there's other things that we can, you know, promote for them that they can learn. Another thing that we have a concern about here in Molokai is our kupunas, yeah? A lot of people are old. I'm gonna give you a little brief about my Hawaiian homes. I signed up for Hawaiian homes back in 1980. I'm still on the list. My number is 77 on the list. Okay, I never received it yet. For people like me, for being on the list for that long, by the time we receive our property, we can't even afford it. We can't even build. The first thing they're gonna ask us, okay, can you build a house there? Can you afford this? And if not, they turn us away and they move it to another person. That's a loser. That's where OHA or Hawaiian Homes or somebody should be coming in with some kind of financial help for people like us that, we're already retired. We can't afford the new housing projects that's coming up right now. We can't afford of all the stuff that we used to. I mean, I made over $100,000 a year working out in Iraq and all the jobs that I've been doing. And now my income drops drastically only because I'm retired. So for people like me who wants to build a house on Hawaiian Homes land, after we get awarded the land, we can't afford it. So that's where OHA should be coming in. I don't know where all the money is for OHA. I mean, OHA, we're supposed to have like what, 20% of the state income of ceded lands. I don't even hear anything about that. I saw it on the news once that those ceded lands, state owes OHA millions. So how come OHA cannot go back there and fight for that money that we actually it should be ours? Now, money like that can help all us kupunas over here. They can help people that need land over here. I mean, need housing and stuff. We can get the property, but we can't get the land. That's why a lot of the land here is just abandoned. A lot of people are just raising cars or just living in partial kind of homes. So we really need the assistance, okay? Secondly, OHA comes out and they give grants, okay? But every time we try to sign up for the grant is gone. We can't even get it. It comes out for about maybe a month or less. And then by the time we find out about it, it's too late already. So, we kind of down here. I had to go out and go look for a place to get my property that I have. Right now I live in Holihua. I live on ag land, but I did sign up originally for my residential, and I'm still on the list for residential. But I was lucky and fortunate to have ag land, so I can put something up there that already was there. And so for us kupunas, we really need assistance here. And OHA, I don't know what OHA's main objectives. They might have just two. One is for financial for some of the people here. And I know a lot of the things that people here are explaining to you, you guys can't even do. And it's a lot to do with Hawaiian Homes. And I understand that. But OHA has some kind of way to help some of the Hawaiians here. Because I know the monies that OHA has that they need to go collect from the state should be coming back and helping people like us here on Moloka'i. So, I mean, I'm talking for all the kupuna here, and maybe not everybody knows about that, but we do. I watch the news. I see all that stuff that goes on TV. So, if OHA can kind of push hard and get that. OHA already had the acreage of land over at Ward Warehouse area, by that basin area. What are you guys doing with that? I mean, that's useless over there. You can't even build a home for any of the Hawaiian Homes there. You guys were blocked on that. You guys were allowed the property without any, you guys can't even do certain things on there. I don't know how the state and you guys made an agreement like that, but that's a $200 million project area. I mean, area. And it's for nothing. You guys can't do nothing. All you can do is rent out the place to someone else that can do that. So really, we need stuff like that, to help here. Some of the financial we can use for the locals over here. Okay, you had a question? Oh, so I mean, I'm bringing up some of the things that maybe you guys can kind of push to help us here, because Moloka'i, we've been like, no one even cares for us over here.
The things you're talking about, we push all year round.
Yeah.
That's what we're fighting for.
Right.
Our fair share of the 20%,
Yes.
the kupuna housing, the healthcare,
Right.
all year round, because we cannot do it ourselves.
See.
But we're pushing the people that can.
Right.
That's what we're valuable to our beneficiaries, our strong voices. We're
Correct.
not sitting down in our houses.
Yeah.
We're fighting every single day.
Okay, so what I'm going to ask you right now, we're getting 5% from the state every year since the last, 20 years or so. What about today? Are we still getting our 20% like we supposed to be?
We're supposed to get 20%.
Yes.
And we're not even getting 3%.
And that's why can't you guys get a lawyer or somebody to push that issue? Because the state is holding back. And by the time the state says, hey, you know what, we want our money. And the state is gonna say, hey, we don't have the money. So you need to get lawyers. Like the state would have came down on me right now if I owed them money. And they would have said, hey, you know what? I need your money right now. You're gonna have to go find a way to make that money. Well, you guys need to do the same that they would have done to us. You know, that's how it works.
Thank you, Lionel.
Aloha.
Aloha. Brother Walter.
I just saw you guys last night. I just wanted to broadly give you my opinion. Been coming to OHA meetings for a long time. And most of the time it was fighting for some kind of battle on Moloka'i. And Colette was always out front, helping us fight all of our battles. So I'm here to tell you that times have changed on Moloka'i. We've been playing defense most of our lives, and it shows. Moloka'i is different than any other island. And we took a lot of gas, made a lot of people pissed off with us. But in the long run, when COVID came and people began to go on the streets and see less traffic, less people at the beach, they're beginning to enjoy the things that they and realize what they've lost in this progress thing that was happening on the rest of the islands. So I'm here to tell you guys that Moloka'i now is ready to play offense. And if you came to the last graduation, your heart would have been really, really glad to see how many people was graduating at our community college. It was like, I was floored. And we even had one that was going to be a doctor, certificate for doctor. And and her commitment is to this community. So now we have all these young people that are well educated. A lot of them are coming back. I'm going out there and getting all the degrees and they're coming back. So we're ready to do offense on Moloka'i. Politically, Maui County, Moloka'i belongs to Maui County. All of our officials has been elected by Maui. The population elects who our senator is going to be, who our House representative is going to be, even who our council member is going to be. Today, we find ourselves with a senator that lives on Moloka'i. We find ourselves with a House representative that lives on Moloka'i. And our council member is like full on, go get him, that lives on Moloka'i. So for me, it's time for all of you, for Kamehameha schools, for all of the institutions that are in control of our resources to unify. I don't think all the restrictions that you have, you can only help us this much. All the restrictions that Kamehameha School can only do this much because of education. All the institutions have limitations. But if you all get together, and Moloka'i at Kulana or Iwi is the prime example of all of the institutions getting together on Hawaiian homelands. And when they started to do that, there was like all kinds of reasons why they couldn't get together. We attended those meetings. Everybody had restrictions. Monsignor Kekumanu took over. And he said, put aside all of the restrictions. And they did it. And they all came together in one place, all of the institutions, so that we as Hawaiians could go to one place and get services. So the point I'm making is that somehow all of our institutions need to show leadership to unify, to set the example to the Hawaiians to unify. It starts at the top. And I'm telling you guys now that Molokai is now ready for serious kinds of help in order to prove that if we look back to our ancestors to find out where the hell we're going before the great continent and the military keeps on taking all of our resources and making them unlivable for us here in Hawaii. So there's a whole bunch of things, maybe one of these days, after we all unify and we can all solve some of our problems. We have a great vision for this island of Molokai. All we need is some leadership. Mahalo.
Thank you, Walter. We're gonna let Auntie Irene talk 5 minutes more. Go ahead.
One minute. Or 3 minutes, okay. You know, I was on the telephone and on my text until 4 o'clock this morning, and I feel like I had 20 beers.
Put your microphone close to your mouth.
Okay. Because of the fact that I was trying to get people to come out, texting him and stuff like that. I said, you know what? This is your kupuna, and I'm telling you, you're either gonna come up, put up, or shut up. Don't grumble. If you cannot come to the meeting and state your concerns and stuff like that, that's your problem. And they said, what for? What for? Oh, I don't do nothing for the people. And I said, I beg your pardon. I used to work for them. You remember? Oh, okay, Auntie, we're gonna come. No show. I feel that, like Walter said, we gotta come together as one. But we need like OHA be on top, and then the Hawaiian agencies are like, when you guys give money to DHHL, audit them. Don't just give them the money, be accountable. Old days, they used to send us in the field to make sure that they was using the money the right way.
We don't give Hawaiian Homes money. Hawaiian Homes is a state agency by themselves, and we are a state agency by ourselves.
That's too bad. It's like the overthrow, another overthrow. I want to tell you something. We're supposed to be collaborating for the benefit of the people. And our queen said this way. She said to stand fast together as one. And we're not doing it. And that's why our people are suffering today. I'm sorry I had to be, like this. I'm sorry.
I think the structure could have been better, but just for your information, OHA gives the Department of Hawaiian Homes $3 million every single year.
Are you guys auditing them on how they're spending the money and stuff like that? I want to know because it's not going that way.
No, we committed to help them with the debt service.
You can't do that. That's not quality.
We can do that, and I'll explain why. Because in order for some of the projects to come up statewide, they never have money for the infrastructure. So we committed $3 million for 30 years so that they can get the money to put in the sewer and the water so that more people could move on to Hawaiian homelands faster, and still didn't take care of the list.
No, you're right. The people are suffering, and what are we doing about it? It hurts my heart. It really does. Who do we kupunas have to write to? The President of the United States?
No, I think you should talk to your state senator and representatives.
No,
because they make the laws.
You know what, Trustee? Just wait. We go to the horse's mouth. So you know what? Maybe we'll go there. up there. We gotta do something. If people are being given money by whoever, the president should hear about it and help us. Help OHA to gather the people together. Help the people get Hawaiian homes. I don't know. To me, I gotta say this, I'm gonna get up tomorrow. There's so much rubbing each other's shoulders. That building is like that for what, 8 years. And to me, he was the guy. He was the one man, one commander that we had. And I think that the president should know how the veterans are treated without any respect. And the people, most of them that's objective, they want the building. Well, put their money where their mouth is. We earned it. That's why we're walking around like this today. And sorry for Auntie, when we get older, we cannot hear. It's not that we're mad at you. It's just that we're frustrated because we don't know if we're gonna have any tomorrows. That's why we're here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Irene. And we want to mahalo all of you for coming this morning, and we thank you for your time and your comments, and you're educating us. If we don't hear from you, we don't know what's going on in Moloka'i. But please know that when we leave here, we will discuss all of your comments and see how we can help. So mahalo nui, I mahalo my fellow trustees that traveled from the different islands to Moloka'i. And I want to mahalo your trustee Alapa and her staff for being a host to us, taking care of us while we're here. Again, mahalo to all of Moloka'i and our beneficiaries for coming out to our meetings last night and today and sharing your mana'o with us. At this time, I'm going to entertain a motion for adjournment. Ended. Board Secretary, roll call.
Aye.
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 Yes.
Yes. Mahalo. Mahalo. Mahalo, Carla.